There are three certainties in life: death, taxes, and Glenn Ingram finding you plenty of winners on the trial show. As things really heat up, we've got the 2-year-olds, we've got the good horses coming back. There's a lot to look forward to, Glenn.
Sure is, Ed. And we're just talking off air, there's a lot of nice horses coming up at the moment. We had a really good set at Geelong and Caulfield this week, and I think we can find plenty of winners.
Yeah, that's said traditionally at Geelong after Australia Day is always a really good set. This year was no exception. What stood out to you?
Yeah, here to shock. He's having his final trial here before he heads to New Zealand for the Group 1 contest over there. We've got a well-bred 2-year-old who's showing a bit of promise for Lindsay Park, and a Lindsay Smith-trained gallop he goes well fresh, Ed, and he looks ready to rock and roll.
Let's get stuck into the highlights from Geelong, beginning with Here to Shock. He's an 8-year-old, this horse. He's been freshened up. He won the Group 1 BCD Group Sprint last year. He's back to defend his title on Saturday.
And produced a career best performance, I believe, over there last year. So I suspect this has been the target all along, just to give him an easy time in between that race and this one this year. And he's trialled up nicely. So he gets to the outside in this trial over 1,000 metres. Really hit the line nicely. I like the way he was finishing off. It's a lovely piece of work towards that Group 1 on Saturday in New Zealand. We haven't seen the nominations yet, so hard to sort of see who he's up against, but he's gonna run up to his best, I'm sure.
I know Arkansas kids there, and they've booked Logan Bates for the ride, who's absolutely flying at the moment as well.
Yeah, especially on front runners. Logan, he's really taken his craft to a new level. I think he's our leading apprentice in the state.
The way that he finished off this trial for mine was the most taking part. Is that what impressed you?
I think so. That last 100 metres, he was given a bit of a squirt, so he'll be turning up in good order on Saturday.
Portnari's going to kick off her racing career this Saturday in the Blue Diamond Prelude for the fillies. She's raced by Coolmore. She went through as a weanling in the Magic Millions weanling sale a few years ago for $300, well, not that long ago, but you know what I mean. Yep. $380,000 was her price, is the point I was trying to make, Eagle.
Yeah, so she's well bred, obviously. She would have gone for a lot more than that had she gone through as a yearling, but it looks like she's got a bit of talent, Ed. I think this is her second jump out, and what I liked about this is we've got a lot of 2-year-olds who can show a lot of speed, Ed, but then they get on race day, and when the pressure comes on, they can be a little bit soft at the end of their races. So it's good to see a 2-year-old who's a good size get into a 1,000-metre trial and really attack the line like this filly did, the daughter of Home Affairs. So just look at it sort of cranked up over the last 100 metres here, really ran through the line. So I reckon that's a good sign. If she gets into a sort of a fast-run 2-year-old race, she's going to be thereabouts.
Would you be having something on her in the Blue Diamond Prelude on Saturday? Because looking at the early markets for that race, she was at double figures, so she might have flown below the radar.
Possibly, yeah, but seems to be going well. I haven't seen the nominations yet, but it's going to be an exciting race. There's another couple of horses that we're going to talk about later in the show. All
right, well, we'll get to those in due course. Let's have a look at 11 Other Day. This is a gelding who's had the 3 starts, a maiden winner at Geelong, so he does go well at this track. Yeah, this is his second trial, this preparation. I really like the way that he was running on over the concluding stages.
Looks like a horse that's ready to win first up, Ed. Looking at that, I don't know if you remember the debut run. It was most unlucky.
From memory, you were keen on this horse leading into that preparation too.
Had trialled really well and then went to its debut, and the money came for that horse, and they just couldn't get a run. So it was unfortunate, but was able to go to Geelong at start 2 and really get the job done there. So I think it's a progressive horse. This is its second jump out. Again, I think they ran along up front, which set it up for the horses coming from the back. It's in the yellow jacket there with the red armbands, red cap, gets to the outside, really attacks the line there for the Tom Dabenig stable. And it's another horse that I think can win first up and could be quite progressive this campaign.
Yep, so let's have a look at the last part. He was pushed out, but he responds nicely. He stretched out really well and got to line strongly to prevail in that heat. That's 11 Other Day. Sir Atlas from the Lindsay Smith stable, really lightly raced 7-year-old who's nearing a return to the races. He's just had, I think, about 15 starts, which isn't a great deal for a horse of his age. Are you pleased in his career with what he's produced, or has he promised the world and delivered an Atlas?
Oh, you just set that up beautifully. Now, Sir Atlas hasn't won since March 24, Ed, so we're nearing on 2 years for this horse, but he does have a very good fresh record, and considering that the horse hasn't won for such a long time, they've given this horse 2 jump outs and an official trial. So that tells me there's a fair bit of intent trying to win a race with this horse first up, and you'll see that here. He looked really keen, happy in his work here. He ran through the line nicely, pricked his ears, and I'm sure they'll be able to find a race for him. Sir Atlas, with his rating, he can win first up.
Let's go from one part of Victoria to another. From the Ballerine Peninsula, we're going to go over to the Mornington Peninsula. We recently had Balnarring Cup Day, and not long after, they had the jump outs there. There's a double mentioner in this segment as well.
Oh, double mentioner, look out. Point Barrow, yeah, tuning up for those Group 1 targets, and I think we've got a maiden winner that can progress this campaign. He's always shown a little bit of ability.
So one at either end of the spectrum. Let's have a look at Point Barrow and also Tom Kitten. The Freedmans are strong supporters of the Balnarring jump out. It's a really good track. Jamie Mellon getting a good feel for Point Barrow here, because this was her first time on the horse who she's booked to ride in the Oakley Plate.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it off camera, Ed. What a lovely race the Oakley Plate is for Point Barrow, a horse that doesn't have a whole lot of tactical speed but is almost guaranteed a fast tempo up front at 1100 metres. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that horse in the Oakley Plate.
50 kilos too is what they're thinking they'll get.
That is the cream on top. So she gets to the outside, Point Barrow, travelled beautifully under Jamie Mellon. The horse back in the Godolphin colours there is Tom Kitten, who was a bit of a rascal last campaign. He was hard work for his connections, but he's trialled well. We know he's a good horse with plenty of ability.
Yeah, he's a Group 1 quality horse. He's been able to win at the highest level. I spoke to Ben Malcolm about Tom Kitten. His spring campaign was essentially derailed by the fact that he missed the start, the Memsey Stakes first up. He was a late scratching at the gates, and then they were playing catch-up to get him right, but he's better in the gates according to Ben this time around. So hopefully we get to see the best of him like we did in the autumn of last year. From the Group 1 horses, you found one that you think can go from maiden company, rise through the grades, Glenn?
Yeah, a horse called Blethen jumping out here for Matt Laurie. Now, did plenty wrong early in the career, so I think they had a bit of a rap on. I remember it debuted, might have been Flemington or somewhere like that. Started firm in the market, so they had a bit of an opinion of it. Pulled up, might have pulled up with some issues. It's been carefully managed. I think it's had 10 starts today, but it's only won the one race. That one race come at Seymour at the end of the preparation, where they really dived into it in the market and won running away. It was a really, really good win. So it's come back to the jump outs here. It's in the black cap, black sleeves, gets to the outside and just travelled beautifully under a nice rein there. So I think it's a nice horse it's quite progressive, only got that low rating. So it gives the horse an opportunity to win more races. So looking forward to seeing Blethen step out for Matt Laurie.
Yep, it's certainly performed well. And even though it was a small field there, you're pleased with the time recorded? Yeah,
look, it wasn't asked to do a whole lot. Small bunched field. Don't take too much notice in those, Ed, but we know the horse has got ability, so hopefully they can unlock it this campaign.
I've led them to go to the Racing.com Black Book. Then we'll take a break. We'll come back with Caulfield when we return. We had a really good set of trials that took place at Caulfield recently. 15 heats overall. Glenn Ingram has gone through the lot of them and has come up with the highlights for us. What have you got, Glenn?
Yeah, stack of winners to follow out of Caulfield. Make sure you get on the website and have a look at them. Former Hong Kong galloper, really stole the show with an impressive display, Ed. We'll pick your brains about this horse soon. An outstanding return from Clayton Douglas, the star sprinter, and a number of two-year-olds, I thought, showing good ability towards their respective debuts, possibly this week.
The horse that you're referring to is Nervous Witness, who looked like he could have been anything in Hong Kong. He captured people's imaginations the way that he was able to win on debut. Towards the end of his career, he might have just lost his way a little and he might have found his level in the ratings where it is hard to find easier races to contest, but he's always had an abundance of ability. He's had his issues since he's come to Australia as well, so he did jump out in May but didn't make it to the races last winter. They've given him a decent break. He's going to be back at the races for the first time since late 2024 on Saturday. He heads to Randwick to run there.
Is that right? Yeah, well, the time was significant here, Ed. He's obviously a fast horse and he was asked to do it. So that's why he's ran the 58.45 of the 1,000. He looks like a 1,000-metre horse to me. I'm not sure what your take is on him. sort of short stepping and getting a little bit tired through the line. So 1,000 metres, I'd be a little bit hesitant to anything longer.
He's the type of horse that at his best could break 55 seconds over 1,000 metres.
There you go.
So
yep.
He's getting older, but hopefully he can produce on the weekend. Vinrock, interested in your thoughts on this horse. Davita's been in really good form and is a good free-rolling, front-running type of horse. Vinrock had a lot of expectations on him coming into the spring. Didn't necessarily live up to them.
Yeah, maybe not a miler. That's what I'd take out of him.
1,400's his limit?
I think so. I think he's if he can bowl along in front at 1,400 metres, he's going to win a lot more races. They have tried him at the mile. It just hadn't worked out for him at the mile. I don't think he's a miler, so we'll see what pans out this campaign. But as you said, Davita's a very fit horse, in form as well, and went forward and was able to win that jump out. I thought Vinrock was doing really good work late. Wasn't asked to do a whole lot, but he's stretching out nicely there, that last 100 metres, and he'll have another jump out. And I'm sure he'll be back on the show in a couple of weeks.
Yep, he might be a double mentioner. So there's a Group 1 winner of the size last year in Sydney, won the Melbourne size as well. He finished 4th in the Caulfield Guineas. But maybe, according to your suggestion, they might keep him to distances just below the mile range. Let's continue on with the stars. Let's have a look at Giga Kick. And I've got to be honest with you, Glenn, I find him a little hard to get a line on as far as the way that he trials, because last spring I was underwhelmed by his Caulfield trial, and then he came out and he blitzed them in the Scalacci first up, had a bit of time between runs and bravely took out the champion sprint on the final day of the carnival in very heavy conditions. I like the look of this trial, though, purely on face value.
It's a good point you make. It was odd. I mean, he didn't trial all that well, and was it the one that Mark Zahra jumped off to get on? Perhaps he'd been doing some work.
Zahra certainly rode him in the
publicly.
spring. Yeah.
But look, he looks back to his best. He looks back to his best. Look at him just giving a little bit of rein through the line here. My Gladiola was really pushed along to go with him, and he just said, no, I'm the best sprinter in this field. I'll slide through and... got the job done. So, nice horse, Giga Kick. Looking forward to seeing him off a 12-week break.
He's one of the stars of Australian racing. Both him and My Gladiola likely to head towards the Lightning Stakes next week for their first up runs. Zudo, this is an interesting horse. This is one that I'll definitely be putting into the Black Book. Always been a fan of Philip Stokes as a trainer. She's a maiden. She's had 3 starts. She's yet to travel the score in those. And she's clearly a little bit raw, but I like the way that she found the line here.
She's a bit of an eye-catcher, an eye-catching trial. Got back, was a little bit keen, wanted to go a bit quicker, and the jockey just took her up the fence here and made really good ground in the straight. Now, the horse has had 3 starts. You couldn't back her off what you've seen in the first campaign. You'd be really concerned, but the jump out in this trial, I think, signify that this horse has potentially got a little bit more ability than what it's shown to date. And I think they might be looking to get over a little bit ground. It's been in 2,000 metre races and a 1,200. You know, if they can get a fast speed, sort of 1,400 metres, I think this filly could break a maiden.
I'd be curious to find out, as we see her really getting to the line well and powering through the line, if she's had an issue this preparation, just because there was a fair gap between that first jump out and that trial there.
Possibly, but the way she finished off that trial, you can't imagine she's going to be a maiden for long. And the Stokes stable have the benefit of being able to go over to South Australia and pick something off there. So she'll be winning a race, no doubt.
Yep, they've done it so well for so long. Closer to Free is the next horse we're going to discuss here on the trial show. Eternal Warrior also featuring in this replay. So Closer to Free. 3 jump outs overall. 2 this preparation. Has won both this 2-year-old colt by Street Boss, who's been a very good stallion.
He's a typical street boss, Ed. He really is. He's a proper 2-year-old. He's not overly big, so they didn't pay a lot for him. Adrian Corboy raced and owned this horse, and it had 1 jump out at Wodonga recently where it was able to lead under a hold and win its jump out, and then they've brought it down here, and it's matched strides here with a horse called Eternal Warrior, who's a Merson Cooper winner, and that horse back to the inside Closer to Free went just as well, under a little bit more pressure, albeit. But yeah, he surged through the line, and the horse has since been sold. It's now with the Denny O'Brien stable.
Okay, good information from your good self there. So certainly a nice horse, Closer to Free, and stronger trial as well at Caulfield as far as the competition is concerned, with all respect, than Wodonga. So it has taken that next step.
Yeah, and looks like a proper 1,000-metre horse too, because he's not overly big. So if you're going to back him, I think he's going to go around on Saturday. Hopefully he can get the job done for his connections.
This next horse might be one to put into the Racing.com Black Book, more from a longer-term perspective. This is a horse who's by Snitzel from the mare Sexy Eyes. This is Aroused.
Yeah, well named, and looks good. Really taken with this jump out from this girl. She's a daughter of Snitzel, and she's in the, is it the Fairway Thoroughbred colours?
Yep.
Yep, the white there at the back of the field, black cap. She gets to the outside and chases home Grinzinger Heart. Now, Grinzinger Heart, we've got a line through because it followed closer to Free Home in the recent Wodonga jump out. So they've obviously got an opinion of that horse, and look, it was under the bat there and ridden out to win. And just look at Aroused hit the line here. She's a nice filly. Really looking forward to seeing her step out for Graham Begg.
So just looking at the Racing Australia website, it had her down as spelling. So just wonder, long-term, Glenn, we've got to be patient for winners sometimes. It can't all be instantaneous. But you found one that we can follow into the future in the more longer-term future. Probably by punting standards.
Done my homework on that before I put it in the show, Edward. So,
no, you're just giving us...
We'll save it for longer term.
Later. Put it in the fridge for another day. Let's go to Doe now. This is a double mention by the Star Stallion in Ramel. What have you taken from that first jump out to this trial here with Doe?
Yeah, Doe. Look, jumped better. And we did sort of highlight on the trial show last week that this horse was a little bit slow out of the gates. Did get into a fast heat and run on there, so it showed its ability. And then it's come here into a stronger trial, and I thought did really well. I think he's a horse that can win first up for sure. Another one with Adrian Corboy. So Adrian's having a bit of a good trot with his horses. Of course, he sold one, but he's kept this. So look out for Doe first up. I think it's a... Well, who's put that in? Need to follow. Okay.
Hey, you're a dad. You're, of course, going to roll out the dad jokes. That's part of your contract.
Ah, that's shocking. Should get the sack for that.
All right, we're going to take a break on that note, and when we return, we'll find out if Glenn's still here or not. We're almost out of time on the trial show for this week, but we've got plenty of jump outs to look at from Flemington. Give us your snapshot here, Glenn.
Yeah, great to see Barrakill back at the jump outs. Lindsay Park trio, I think we can put in our black book, and an unraced gelding with Team McAvoy looks set for a big debut.
So Barrakill with the stablemate Zoo Sensation, both in the Bennett Racing Silks. Barrakill given a drag into this heat essentially by Zoo Sensation. He was ridden quietly. It's well known that he's had his issues along the way, but when he's at his best, he is Group 1 quality. He's heading towards the Lightning, so they were just giving him a bit more familiarisation with a straight course. After last prep, he raced purely at the Valley. Yeah,
damn good horse. I don't think the Moonee Valley actually suited him that well, but you can see him pick up the stablemate who's been an absolute Trojan this campaign. Barrakill showed a good action here. Just wanted to get his head to one side there, but look forward to seeing him possibly towards the Lightning.
Here he ran in the Moya. He was able to win that memorably, and then hasn't raced since the Manicato, which he finished second in behind Charmstone. That was the end of his preparation. We're going to go to Hard Kick next of all. Glenn, as the name would somewhat suggest, this is a gelding by All Too Hard, who's won both of his jump outs.
Yeah, now they picked this horse up at the Ready to Run sales. He was purchased by Lindsay Park through Hong Kong. So could end up with David overseas, but he's had two jump outs. They've both been really good. He just looks a natural sprinter, very professional, natural racehorse. Looking forward to seeing him. That's if he has a run here in Australia. They might stick him on a plane and get him over to Hong Kong, but he looks good, and I've got no doubt he'll be winning a race or races, plural, this campaign.
Well, I wonder then, based on what you're saying, has he failed the vet for Hong Kong, or is it just that he's a 2-year-old, they need to give him his education? They don't race really in Hong Kong until they're 3 or 4, so there's no rush to get him there. He can get a good education with David's sons and then head there. Interesting.
Very good point, yeah, and they didn't pay a lot for him, so perhaps there was a few vet issues. I think he was a $160,000 buy at those Ready to Run, so they've done well.
He's certainly got ability. Stuntman is the next one we're going to be discussing here on the trial show from the straight track to the inner circle track at Flemington. Stuntman, I think, is a double mention of this gelding by Circus Maximus.
Yeah, walking the tightrope with Stuntman, who's looks like a horse that can just come out and just go bang on debut. Team McAvoy. What I liked about this horse is I think it had a trial in New Zealand, wore earmuffs, went to Avoca, was very hot there, sweated up, did a few things wrong, but really finished off nicely. He looks much more settled in his 2 jump outs, one at Werribee, this one here at Flemington. So I think this horse is going in the right direction, and I'm sure our viewers will be all over it when it steps out.
Third trial or jump out this preparation, still perhaps a fraction green. He'll be rock hard, fit and ready to go when he gets to the races.
Yeah, that'll be no worries there. Team McAvoy will have him ready. They're doing, stable's having a really good run at the moment. They, of course, produced a decent debutant at Pakenham last week, so hopefully this guy can do the same. Yeah,
they've got a really good record this season, particularly right throughout the course of the season. Now, you're the #1 ticket holder for Euro Canto. For a horse who's only had 1 race start, he's featured a lot on the trial show. He gets an extra appearance here because he was supposed to race at Caulfield a couple of weeks ago, but he didn't because he was a late scratching after being fractious at the barriers.
Well, I think you want to get in on this ticket because you were very keen on this horse at Caulfield last week. I think the market was too, and he looked fantastic. He looked amazing in the yard, and you know they were giving him a good push on the coverage at Racing.com, and unfortunately played up in the gates. I think he flipped over and. Or he did a few things wrong anyway, and he was withdrawn. So obviously he's had to come back to the jump outs, and he's in the white jacket. He's up against some of the older horses here, I think it was. And have a look at Bennett Gill coming off their backs late in the blue and white colours. Lovely jump out from that horse. Really good mare.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of hers as well. Euro Canto runs this Saturday?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Be very hard to beat, I would have thought too.
One more to finish up with. Sugar Schnapps. Just want to be careful with that one, again from the Lindsay Park stable, another one that they've purchased from New Zealand. I'd imagine they wouldn't have to have done too much work with her because this was her first jump out in Australia, but she had 2 starts in New Zealand, won the latest of those on the 27th of December, so they obviously bought her quickly and brought her over here pretty soon after that.
Yeah, look, I don't follow the New Zealand form too well, but I did see it was on the tighter tracks there in New Zealand, so I would think that they're going to be going for this here in Victoria as well. They'll be looking for something like that, and this jump out sort of indicates that. She's just a free-going filly, and well done to the team. They've picked up a filly that looks like could go to the races and win straight away, so that's good news for connections, and I'm sure we'll see it in the nominations in the coming weeks.
Yeah, she did that with plenty left in hand. All right, time to wrap things up. Bringing home for us, Eagle, who are we following?
OK, over at Geelong, Here to Shock, Portinari, Live Another Day, Sir Atlas over at Caulfield. Nervous Witness, Giga Kick, Zoodole closer to free, Arouse and Doe, a couple of nice 2-year-olds there. Flemington, Barracuda, Hard Kick, Stuntman, Euro Canto, we'll see this weekend. And over at Balnarring, Point Barrow as it heads towards the Group 1 Oakley Plate and Blethen.
Yep, and Barracuda and Giga Kick, who featured on the show, all heading towards the Lightning. So good meeting coming up, very good meeting coming up at Caulfield on Saturday, but then next week we go to a whole new level, Glenn.
Yeah, fantastic. Looking forward to it. Hopefully a few of these horses step out and we can get a result, Edward.
Absolutely. That's the aim of the game. Glenn, thank you. We'll see you next week right here on Racing.com for the award-winning Trial Show. Thank you. Bye-bye.